Introducing Fight Picks with the Pros, brought to you by FanDuel.
All right, hello and welcome to Fight Picks with the Pros. Today we're going to talk about 3 fights coming up on the upcoming UFC Fight Night featuring Holloway versus Kattar. And today I'm joined by 2 pros, including UFC welterweight Max Griffin and former Ultimate Fighter Show winner Chris Holdsworth. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's cracking?
So the first fight we're going to go over is Joaquin Buckley, who's coming in as the minus 290 favorite against Alessio Di Chirico, who's coming in as the plus 225 underdog. So to me, guys, I'll give a quick breakdown for you. Joaquin Buckley, of course, is coming off of 2 KO victories, one of them being KO of the year with that standing spinning back kick. On the other side, Alessio is coming off of 3 losses, surprisingly. Surprising matchup to me. He had quite a bit of cancellations, Max let me know earlier in the show, which is unfortunate circumstance for him. So maybe this is a way to get him a quick fight. To me, I see a little fishiness here with the UFC, maybe doing a build-up play. But let's start with Joaquin Buckley. Tell me what you guys think. Max, let's start with you.
I've seen, he really went viral with his spinning back kick knockout that, knocked the dude's head off. KO of the year. Big, powerful, strong guy. Looked like he's trying to kill you with every shot. Big, huge middleweight guy. He got a lot of hype around him right now. I'm looking forward to this fight, but it's an interesting matchup. It looks like our man Chirico's on the chopping block, if you ask me.
I agree. Chris, what do you think about Joaquin Buckley coming into this fight?
Yeah, it's interesting that they would give him a guy who's coming off 3 losses, a guy who just had 2 big KOs. So, like you said, it looks like they're trying to build this guy up, and the UFC is usually good at that. Once they have somebody who's marketable, who's went viral, who's got the KO of the year, they'll keep trying to push him and get him to that stardom level. But like what Max was saying, he's got a ton of power. He comes forward pretty much the whole fight, and he doesn't let up on the pressure. The first time I saw him, he fought Holland, and Holland actually beat him. But then he's been on a pretty good run since then. Really, really tough. And this Alessio guy is gonna have some issues.
Yeah, on his side, to give him some credit, it looks like he has some good grappling, and he has 83% takedown defense. But really, some of the qualities I found in him are really negated against Buckley because he's going to stand and strike with you and try to knock you out. So it really, Joaquin's style plays perfectly into this fighter. Coming off 3 losses too, which means his confidence can't be too high up there. On the other side, Joaquin's confidence is sky high. And so, I see what you're doing, UFC. I see you, Uncle Dana. You're building the guy on the new ABC show, and it's gonna be a huge fight. I'll jump out there right away, and I'm predicting an early KO finish. Max, how do you think this fight plays out?
Same, quick KO finish.
Yeah, I see a big hook. A big hook. He's gonna drop this dude.
Okay, let's
reaching out.
Yeah. What round are you guys? When you say early finish, are you thinking first round KO? Round 1. Chris, you too?
It's gonna be first or second round. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's just big enough and strong enough to even deal with him personally.
Yeah, come on, UFC. So we're all calling first round KO for Joaquin Buckley. All right, let's move on to the next matchup here. So this is a really cool one. I can't wait to see what you say about this one, Max. We got Carlos, the natural-born killer Condit, coming in as the minus 168 favorite, according to FanDuel, versus Matt, the immortal Brown, coming in as a plus 136 underdog. So starting with Carlos Condit, a lot of fights in the UFC. He's been fighting in the UFC since 2009. He's 31-13, 15 TKOs. He's always fun to watch. Somehow every fight he seems to get bloodied up, and he fights through it. Great striking. A lot of fight of the nights from Carlos Condit, but he went on quite a skid, 4 fights in a row. He lost 5 fights in a row actually, and won his last fight against Court McGee. He's a veteran. He's always in there, always puts on a good fight. And those fights he lost, a lot of decision losses. It wasn't like he was getting knocked out cold, and that would be kind of a scary situation. And a lot of really close fights. Every time I watch him, I find myself pulling from him. So to start with Carlos, Max, what are your thoughts?
No, I like Carlos a lot. I like Carlos a lot, actually. I've been a fan of him since he's in WEC, and I actually wanted to fight him. We're in the same division now, and I actually called him out on my last fight, Big 3. I thought, same thing. Stylistically, I love it. Great fighter, great guy. And I just like fighting the legends. So I wanted to fight him, and they told me that day, we're trying to give him Matt Brown. So I heard about this fight, March or whenever I fought, November or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of like not a legends, but kind of a really good vet fight, him and Matt Brown,
Yeah, it does remind me of kind of that Legends League type fight. It has that both, end of their career, be honest. And it's hard to match them up with any other guy in the welterweight division. It's probably, it's a tough time. They're still skilled fighters, but, I think this was a good matchup. I would have liked to mix it up with them. I think it would have been a good win for you, a notable name, but we'll see how it plays out. Chris, what do you think about Carlos Condit?
Man, I've known about Carlos since maybe his King of the Cage and Ring of Fire. He beat Mayhem. He beat a couple good guys one night, if I'm not mistaken. And I knew that was even before the WEC. And then he came in the WEC and started wrecking havoc. A friend of mine used to train with him in Albuquerque. And I actually, when I was a blue belt, I got to train with Carlos. He came to the Gracie Academy, his whole team. And I was really surprised about his jiu-jitsu because I was watching him spar with, some of the upper belts. And I was like, man, this guy's got good jiu-jitsu. And that was way back then. And then he's still fighting today. He's fought for the belt. He's fought some of the best guys in the world. I think he's been a little bit more successful in his fights compared to Matt Brown. They've both been around for a long time, but when you look at their records, Matt Brown's record, isn't the best. He's more of the guy who puts on a show and is always going to fight every time he shows up. I think Carlos Condit has more weapons. He's more durable, and he's going to be able to finish Matt Brown.
Yeah, and jumping to Matt Brown real quick. Yeah, like you mentioned, he's 22-17, 17 losses on his record, 14 KOs, 6 subs. And every time I'm watching him, he's kind of got that Nate Diaz, kill or be killed. He doesn't want to see it go to decision. He'd rather, get knocked out or, try to knock the guy out with the crazy punch or kick than take it to the end, right? Which is, fans love that style, but, health-wise is not the best style to go for, especially when you're behind in the fight or you're hurt, right?
That's why he's still around, because he's entertaining and, it's kill or be killed, and
yeah,
they keep guys around for that.
Yeah, I think that's it. The loyalty to the UFC and kind of put on entertaining fights. Max, what do you think about Matt Brown?
Matt Brown's been around for forever. That's why I said a legends thing. He's fought so many great guys, and it's more his tenure in the sport, who he's fought, and he's always in those good fights, those dog fights. I respect that when someone's not a punk, they start getting beat, and then you see they just kind of willed, and I don't like that when fighters do that. He's not one of those guys. He'll go out on his shield, and he got my respect.
Yeah. So coming down to an official fight pick. So it looks like Chris already gave his pick. You think it's going to be a finish from Carlos Condit. I'm thinking more of the same. I'm leaning toward Carlos on this one. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think this has potential to be fight of the night because I think they are going to slug it out and keep it on the feet. I'm going to say Carlos Condit gets the finish towards the end of the fight. 3rd round finish for Carlos. Max, what are you thinking?
Nice. I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think Carlos Condit is too slick for Matt Brown. Matt Brown's kind of robotic and, not kind of on the slower side of things. And I think, Carlos is going to go in there, mix it up, get these kicks, mix it all the way up, and finish him in the 2nd round.
Okay, you're going second round.
Maybe by head kick. He likes getting kicked in the head sometimes.
Okay. And Chris, let's hear your by round. I know you said Carlos by finish. What round are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's going to be in the first round. I think Matt's going to come out swinging guns a-blazing, and Carlos is going to catch him with something and finish him. I'm not going to tell you if it's going to be a punch, knee, or a kick, but he's going to finish him. And if he doesn't finish him, I think he can get the takedown and mix it up and get the submission as well.
Okay, I like it. So we're all going Carlos on this one.
It's time for the main fight pick of the evening.
Next up, we got Max Bless Holloway coming in as a -172 favorite versus Calvin Kattar, the Boston finisher, who's the +140 underdog. So what's wild about this fight, I want to throw out this stat, is that Max has a 6.66 significant strike per minute average, and Calvin Kattar has a 5.29. So anyone with over a 3 significant strikes per minute is pretty, they're a damn good striker, and they're landing some heavy shots, So with them, with Max being over 6, close to 7, and Kattar being over 5, it just shows you they're going to be throwing just bombs back and forth every single minute. So starting with Max, he's 21-6, tough road coming off 2 losses to Volkanovski. I know Chris has his opinion on that second fight. He's the former champ for a long time. He's still the #1 contender in the featherweight division. Big accolades for Max Holloway. He's had a tough fight when he moved up and tried to fight Dustin Poirier, who he lost to as well. So, Chris, let's start with you on this one. Let me hear your breakdown on Max Holloway coming into this fight.
Yeah, I'm a huge Max fan. I got to hang out with him a couple times. Never got to train with him, but I would love to one day. And I just love his style. He's able to just use his jab from both stances and use his straight long punches to get a lot of finishes, or just dance around people and get a lot of effective added up shots. He took out Brian Ortega. No one else has been able to do that. Like, I'm a huge Ortega fan, and Max was able to put him away, and he's just always impressed me. And losing that first Volkanovski fight and then coming back that second fight, I thought he made the adjustments and did enough to win the fight. The judges didn't think so, and I think he's got more experience than Kattar. Kattar is great. He's got really sharp boxing, and he poses a lot of his own threats, and he's really dangerous. And if Max is not sharp with his defense and his footwork, he can get caught. But I think Max has more experience, and he knows what it takes to win these 5-round fights.
Yeah. All right, we'll throw it over to Max. What do you think about Max coming to this fight? What do you think is? And on top of that, he comes in with the experience, like Chris mentioned. But Calvin Kattar, he's a sharp boxer, and Max doesn't want to go on this skid. He wants to get right back in there, title contention. UFC and Dana and Sean Shelby obviously think highly of him to keep him so highly ranked after 2 losses in a row. So what do you think his game plan should be coming into this fight?
The good thing about Max Holloway is his footwork. Like Chris mentioned, he switches stances. He's throwing both shots. You need good footwork to do that. You can't just stand there and be a stick in the mud. He does move around a lot, so he's going to have to be mobile and move around Kattar. Mix it up, too. And Kattar's, he throws those bombs with those shots. Holloway, I think, could probably conserve, not conserve his energy, but how he throw light, hard. Yeah. I think that could be a real problem, and I think he's gonna start adding those up, and over the fight, maybe do some damage, maybe close the eye up of Kattar, or I think some damage, because they hit their firepower is so that the output's so high. I believe we're going to see a lot of scar tissue. We're going to see a lot of beaten faces. They don't have the best defense,
Yeah, no, they're going to get hit for sure. So throwing it over to on Calvin Kattar, who's been super impressive. So he's won his last 4 out of 5 fights, and his one loss was to Zabib, who actually in that fight, if you guys watched that fight, Calvin Kattar was coming on in the 3rd round.
Yeah, he was coming back. Yeah,
he was coming back. He started putting together some combinations, and a lot of people thought if that was a 5-round fight, he would have taken that fight either by decision or would have ended up finishing him. So we'll start with you on this one, Chris. Sharp boxing from Calvin Kattar. His confidence is at all-time high, but this is the biggest spotlight he's ever been in. 5-round main event versus Max Holloway. This is his shot to kind of take Max's spot as the top contender and get a title shot after this. And this is Max's time to kind of get the win and solidify himself still as one of the best in the world. And he wants to get right back in there too. So from Calvin Kattar, I know you're a Max Holloway fan. What does Calvin Kattar have to do to win this fight?
Yeah, he's got to use his boxing, which he's best at, and try to land the cleaner and the harder shots. Max is like more of the setting you up and just kind of like just tagging you all night. And he's got some power shots, but I think Calvin throws more power shots. He sets you up with the boxing, and he comes up the hard with the uppercuts at weird angles, and just comes up with more of those power shots. So if he's going to win, he's going to have to, set Max up with the hands and land one of those big bombs.
I agree. So coming to a close here, the official prediction on the main event. I'm going to go. Actually, Max, I'll let you kick this one off. I've been throwing mine out the whole time. I don't want to sway your guys' opinion. So, Max, let's start with you. How's the fight going to play out?
Man, Kattar and Max Holloway. Oh, I think it's going to be real close. If Kattar doesn't get the respect of Holloway, and I don't think there is going to be really any respect. Holloway is not one of those, like, typically when someone's a big puncher and they have a lot of output, you got to hit them and to make them, chill out. But, that Hawaiian boy, it's going to fire him up. So I think it's going to be a shit show. I think it's going to be a dogfight all the way, personally. But I got Holloway. I believe he has his experience. He's a champion. He's battle tested. He's tried and true, and I think it'll push him over the edge at the end.
Okay, so you're going Max. Are you going by decision?
Yes.
Okay, Max by decision. Okay, Chris, how do you see the fight playing out?
Yeah, I think the same way. It's going to be back and forth, like two. It's just going to be back and forth. Both of the guys are going to be trying to finish each other, and we'll see who's able to keep their gas tank all 5 rounds and able to keep that output that both of them are so good at doing. So we'll see who wears out first. Will Kattar fold under the the big main event lights, the championship belt, or will he rise to the occasion and land his shots and and win the fight? But I'm gonna go with Max by decision as well.
Okay. So you're both going Max by decision. For me, I think the fight is going to be back and forth. This has fight of the night written all over it. Like Max said, these guys are high output guys, and they're going to absorb some strikes too. So they're going to be bloodied up. There's going to be some crazy exchanges. There's going to be an audience in the stands, so it's going to get them going. I think it's going to come down to endurance, and I've seen Max go 5 rounds, and he's got a great gas tank. And so it's going to test Kattar. I think it is going to go in that 4th and 5th. I'm going to call Max by 4th round TKO. I think the shot's going to pile up round over round. Kattar's going to end up getting a little tired. And again, in the Zabib fight, we saw Kattar get a little tired, and then it's almost like he got a second wind and he started opening up and landing shots. So we could see that. I could underestimate Kattar, and I could see he could just come on in the 4th and 5th. We haven't seen him yet in that stage, so we'll see how it comes out. But for my prediction, I'm going to say he is going to tire in the 4th. And Max is going to find that opening to get the TKO finish. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Fight Picks with the Pros. We'll see you next time.